welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham, and what a difference a corner makes. 2-1 down to Chelsea, 2-2, feels like a win. Place we never get a result, and we've now got 4 points above last year, what we got against the two teams, Southampton at home, Chelsea away, than we did last year. And we've got another one now, Wolves at home, which we lost as well. So can we get 7 points ahead of where we were last season? Joined by Brad. How you doing, Brad?
I'm good, thank you. It's a nice Friday. The sun's out, and it's Friday. It's weekend.
Yeah, hopefully the sun stays out. But look, if it rains and we get a win, I'm not too fussed.
Yeah.
But yeah, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, get your comments in, questions, suggestions, feedback, questions, topics up for discussion and things like that. Really helps the channel. And yeah, please hit the like and subscribe. Brad's channel, Blue Sofa Songs, you should know that by now, but he'll let you know where you can find that at the end. It's also in the description as well, also on the podcast as well. But yeah, and we will be back to normal service soon with 3-4 guests. But wisdom tooth is still causing me problems. If I never have a wisdom tooth out again, I will be delighted. So yeah, this will be another short episode. But yeah, please hit the like and subscribe, and hope you like it. So let's get started, Brad. Confidence has to be brewing after that last gasp Chelsea draw. We played terribly. Absolutely terribly, barring 15, 20 minutes. But we got a draw. You can say Chelsea didn't have a striker, fine, but they didn't have a striker. They didn't score. That's actual facts. But to get a draw like that in the last gasp in a game that we played terribly in, it's got to be good confidence builder.
Yeah, I mean, I initially was disappointed that it was same old Tottenham at Stamford Bridge in the first sort of 20, 30 minutes. And I thought, nothing's changed. But I think the fact that we got the point in hindsight, we wouldn't have done that before. And I just look back to the Emirates last season where we were 3-0 down at half-time. That could very much have been the case at Stamford Bridge if it had been last season. But it wasn't. We were still in the game. And I was really pleased that when we equalised, and then we had that little break, didn't we, with all the fuss that was going on. So Chelsea actually went back in front after about 2 or 3 minutes of actual football playing time.
We sat back again, didn't we?
Yeah, and
we were on top, got the equaliser, sat back, and.
But that was, I think, down to the fact that we changed to 4-4-2-4. He actually had Perisic and I can't remember the other player ready to come on before the goal. So they're just waiting for a break in play before they came on. But that was a body blow. If you fought your way back into a game and then suddenly with 10, 15 minutes to go, they score again, then that was a body blow. But we still kept at it. We kept trying, and we got the equaliser. And yeah, you can say that we didn't deserve it, but we got it. And that's far better than we've done in the past. So if you look at the result, if you look at the teams, if you're Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and you're looking to ultimately win the Premier League, that's ultimate. Maybe not this season, but that's ultimate. The top 3 or 4 teams, you're looking to win every single match you play. But I'd say going to Man City, going to Liverpool, going to Chelsea, a point there is acceptable, I think.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the result in the cold, hard light of day, we got a point at Stamford Bridge. So, in that respect, I think it's good. And that will give them confidence. And the other thing about that performance was you knew that they could play better. I'd rather get that scrape a draw like that than play absolutely brilliantly and then concede a last-minute goal.
Yeah. If you want to win leagues, anyone can beat anyone if they play well. It's getting something out of a game where they don't play well and getting something. And who knows how important that point could be.
Well, exactly. And for all the people that are moaning about the so-called free kicks, well, okay, the first free kick, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But the goal happened 40 seconds after that, and Chelsea had the ball. Chelsea had the ball in their own area, and I think it was Kovacic decided he was going to do something fancy rather than boot out. So that's not Tottenham Hotspur's fault. That's not the referee's fault that they can't do that. And with the hair pull, it was a hair pull, of course it was. But the thing was we didn't defend the corner. The referee didn't defend the corner. So it's not our fault that they couldn't defend the corner. So, it's all very well moaning.
Cavella shouldn't have been on the pitch anyway after the stamp on Romero.
Well, exactly.
We'll talk about him a bit later. But just a couple of comments. Bob Spur, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bob.
You beautifully average looking people. Poor performance.
That's a compliment from Bob.
Well, you haven't arrived if you're not being insulted by Bob either on a live stream, face to face, or in the comments. Poor performance, good result. Did anyone else notice a downpour a few days ago tasted like salt Salty West London tears. Ben, how you doing, Ben? So many tears, almost drowned. You would have floated, Ben. And Kuva, how you doing, Kuva?
Hey, Kuva.
To be honest, I'm a little gutted. We didn't win. We didn't deserve anything, but it would have been glorious to see a Bergwijn-style winner versus Leicester. It would have been, but from where we were, I'm happy with the draw. And Ben again. Regarding the tears, that because of the density of the Salty tears would have created the Chelsea Dead Sea. Please keep your comments coming in. Really appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Really, really helps the channel. Talking about Romero, he's a doubt for this game. I couldn't find a good enough picture because they were all of the hair pull. So I've got that one instead. That'll do. He looks angry in every single photo. But he's a doubt, obviously, from the stamp on Cucurella's from Cucurella. You've seen them being sent off before. Not even sure it's looked at by VAR, but he's a big miss. But against Wolves, well, on paper we should be winning, but we've won a lot of games on paper and ended up losing them in reality. But it's not the worst result game to lose him in.
Well, Romero.
But if he is a doubt, if he doesn't play, who would be playing instead of him?
Well, first of all, he's not playing. I mean, Pochettino. Get me. Conte more or less said that in his press conference. He said, it's only a knock. He might be back next week but it's not worth risking. It's not worth risking. It's only slight. And he did that with Ben Davis during the friendlies, even in the friendlies. And no, it's not worth risking even in the friendly. And he also did it with Longley last week, left him out the squad. So that goes with how he's been playing. And I'm okay with that. How many times do you see a player come back when he's not ready and he gets injured again? So I'm okay with that.
And he is an important player. He's our best central defender.
Of course, he's an important player.
Can't really risk him.
But this is all about having a squad, and I think it'll be Sanchez that will take his place. And Sanchez did okay last season when he came in from Romero. We missed Romero for a lot of last season. And Sanchez will come in and it's up to Sanchez to play well. That's why you have a squad. Obviously you want a really solid first 11, but you want your second 11 to be able to come in and not notice any difference or much difference. So I think Sanchez will come in. Again, Wolves scored one goal in first opening games, didn't score many last season. So you'd hope that defence shouldn't be our main area of concern. It's going to be scoring the goals against them. So
well, I mean, you'll expect Chelsea. We had a lot less of the ball. You'd expect it to be turned round in this one. Certainly at home, that we have 55, 60%, maybe not quite that high, but a lot more of the ball and a lot more like the Southampton game than the Chelsea game. But Romero is just he's got to calm his temper down sometimes. But that Havertz thing in the Chelsea game was hysterical. That one. Havertz thinking he's got the better of him. Even Carragher in commentary said, well, he's in his black book now. And then literally clattered into him. Havertz looks like he's going to cry. And I mean, if he can carry on doing that, some players won't want to play against him. Their best position will be left forward, but he's our right defender. And can I play on the right? And then they won't be anywhere near as effective in the game because they don't want to be clattered. I'm loving Romero at the moment.
I'll tell you a story.
Down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story that my uncle told me because I didn't go to the game. My uncle went to see Tottenham versus Liverpool. I think it was a league game. It might have been a cup game. It might have been a cup replay. Martin Chivers at that time was one of the best strikers in Europe, and they had a player called, I think it was Larry Lloyd. And in the first few minutes of the game, Larry Lloyd literally headbutted Chivers. This is before you had loads and loads of cameras. So the referee wasn't. It's like the wrestling. The referee's not looking at him. He headbutted him. And you didn't see Chivers for the rest of that game. And this is it. Now I'm not saying that Romero should be going around headbutting everybody, but if you make your presence felt, you're going to be wary of it. If someone goes in with a massive tackle in those first few seconds, you're going to be, I've got to watch out for him. So he's got to be a little bit careful because if the referee had seen that and had given the free kick, then we wouldn't have got the point. So you've got to be a little bit careful and. At the same time, I guess you've got to probably accept that he's going to be missing for some games this season because he's going to be suspended or sent off in a game. I would put money on him being sent off in one game this season. So
although at the end of last season when he was on I think 4 bookings for quite a while, and he didn't get 1 booking, even though he still had that kind of physicality and.
So
he has got it there. It's more the Southampton game, 4-1 up, and he goes diving in 2-footed. Is very very dangerous there, and completely not needed. The game was done.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm glad we got him and haven't got him. You know, and teams that have. You know, the great Leeds teams had Billy Bremner. You know, Tottenham had Dave McCall. I mean, Dave McCall was an absolutely brilliant technician as well, but he went in with a crunching tackle. We had Graham Roberts went in with a crunching tackle. Every team that have done it in the past have had those sort of players, especially in the Premier League, which is a very physical league. You know, so yeah, I mean, Romero he could hopefully go on to be our Van Dijk. You know, that Liverpool had because he's certainly got the ability. I mean, his timing's immaculate. When he times the tackles and that, it's incredible, you know. So if he can just make sure he doesn't do anything totally silly, then yeah, you know, that's you know, I'm glad, I prefer we've got him than not got him. So
and like Ben said in the chat, even the commentator knew it was about to happen after the Havertz thing. I mean, Carragher loves him though. He thinks he's superb, Carragher, and I mean, if he can create that not mystique, a reputation as if you get the best of him, you will be crunched. I can see a lot of players wanting to swap over and won't be anywhere near as effective. And then obviously we benefit from that hugely. We benefit. There will be some players, you know, Antonio, if he plays up front, regardless of whether he gets the best of him or not, he will love that scrap. So you'll get some that won't, but I think you'll get quite a lot. It'll be interesting with Luis Diaz for Liverpool. He plays on that left side. He's not the biggest guy. It'd be very interesting what happens with him if he gets crunched and we play them again next season. Not next season, at home. One of the big things about Chelsea, Kane is off the mark. Very odd because it's still August, but he's off the mark. I could have scored that, I think. But just quickly as well, just quickly from Ben, Romero is the most entertaining defender I've seen in years. You never know what's about to happen with him, edgy as seat stuff. He just needs to temper those silly things like he did against Southampton, 4-1 up. But Kane off the mark in August. Obviously, Kulusevski was the star of the show in terms of the front three against Southampton. Had a very, very quiet game, as did Son. Kane stepped up and got his goal, got us a point. Can only be a good thing, right? 2 of our front 3 now off the mark. Richarlison didn't get off the mark, but against Chelsea, he did change that game. Yeah. So he's had an effect already. So 3 of our 4, if you like, have had an effect on games this season. Just that left up to Son, but he's too good, Son, to not have an effect in games quickly. But Kane off the mark.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane is I mean, it's going to sound really, really cliche now, but he's a top-class player. He's always going to score goals. You know, given the service, he's going to score goals. He should have had one earlier. I mean, Kane...
how we missed that, I don't know.
You know, and he knew. You could tell he was frustrated. But, Kane will score, and, 1 goal in 2. I mean, that's what any decent striker wants to do. And he's been relatively quiet by his standards in the first 2 games. And everyone, I mean, people are calling for Son to be dropped. It's like, what? The golden boot from last season, 2 games in, you want to drop him? It's crazy. These guys will score goals, and
you don't drop Son or Kane. What you do when we have European games is you rest them. So
exactly.
They're not dropped, but they won't be starting. Yeah. And if we can get away with it, they won't even be coming on, but they'll be rested. But it's not dropped. It's not dropped. It's just rested. But that'll be, for me anyway, when the World Cup is coming near and when the European games are during the week. We've got games on the weekend.
The other thing is that Conte more or less said that in his press conference, that whilst we're having 1 game a week, he can play the same 11. And he more or less said that he's going with the same 11 that played last season, that got us to the Champions League.
Oh, I like that.
Know how he wants to play. They know themselves. And then you integrate the other players into the team, the new players into the team as the season goes on. And then the ideal time to do that is when you start having 2 games a week. And he more or less said this in the press conference. And that's, okay, people can moan about the transfer window. Oh, we didn't get this player, we didn't get that player. But I'll tell you what, on Sunday, when you had Richarlison off the bench, Basuma off the bench, Perisic off the bench,
3 players that we didn't have last season, and
exactly
our bench is
Yeah,
stronger.
Last season it would have been Dele Alli and Harry Winks, So and bless him, maybe. Well, no, Dane Scarlett didn't play many games, but a striker coming on, Richarlison more or less got Everton out of relegation last season.
Yeah.
When what's his name, Llewellyn was was injured. He took the front line and scored goals. So I thought that was to see those sort of play. Yeah, of course we might have signed this player, might have signed that player. Or why haven't got this player? But we had those players on the bench to come on yesterday, and that was really pleasing. Yesterday on Sunday, and that was really pleasing to see. But no, Kane's a top class striker. He's always going to score goals. And he's the sort of player. These sort of players that will step up to the mark in the last minute of a London derby. And he did it. So,
It's good that he was off the mark. Superb, he's off the mark, and can only be a good thing. Just left for Son now, which. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised, would you, if Son got a hat trick? Being the criticism that he's getting. Oh, drop him. Okay, I'll score a hat trick, and I'd love that. But I need Kane to do it like he did against Southampton. If he doesn't score, set up everyone. He's my captain in fantasy football, and I'd be terrible.
You know what I've noticed about Son when he's on the left hand side and he hits with his right foot and curls it towards the top corner. That's when he's on form. That's when you know he's got the game together. Yeah. If you don't see that happening or him attempting to do that, you think, he's slightly off. When you see him doing that, whether he scores or not, you think, he's back on form again. And I noticed that last season. I think the goal against Leicester, ironically with his left foot, that's the first time he'd done that curling shot into the corner for a long time. And then we saw against Norwich, he did more or less the same thing. So I think when you see Son attempting now, I think he's on form. But hey, this is the start of the season, and some players will hit form early, some players won't. So
we'll talk about Son a bit later. It is a game of two teams, and Wolves do have some dangerous players. I initially put Traore trouble, but he hasn't played this season. But
he came on a sub. I didn't even realise that he'd come back. I forgot about that. He
was on loan, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? And I was looking at the Wolves teams of the last 2 weeks. I thought, Traore. Oh yeah, okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me if he starts this game, just because of the whole history of history, but the transfer saga and all of that business. But maybe he doesn't really feature in his plans. That's why he was sent on loan. But who are the Wolves' danger men? For me, it's always the same. Whoever we play, whoever their tall defenders are when they get corners or free kicks, because we still can't defend them, which is quite a concern, because that will be a target for a lot of teams, and we do. Footballers do generally, anyway, give away stupid free kicks in stupid areas, even though they know they can't defend them very well. So the defenders, for me, are the danger men. Jimenez will be a danger man from corners because he's good with his head. Who are the danger men for you?
Well, I think you can't go past Nevin, whatever his name is, in midfield. He's got a good pass on him. If you can cut him out the game, and then if the ball doesn't get up to their forwards, and I think they've got someone called Neto on the left, I think he is. So there's those two players. They haven't got Jimenez anymore. They've got a player no, I didn't see him on the team sheet for the last two games, unless he's injured, maybe, I don't know. They got is it some South Korean player up top?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but I went through the two Wolves teams and no names really sort of stuck out at me. As
they're fairly solid. They've obviously lost Cody, which is going to be a big miss for him, being that he's been a bit of a staple. But I mean, Bruno Lage must know what he's doing. Connor Cody goes, I must have a plan here. Whether that derails their stability from last year, because they didn't score many goals, but they didn't concede many goals. So whether that destabilizes their stability from last year, I don't know. But you'd expect them to be fairly stable. We'll come to how the game will pan out, but I would expect them to be more of a sit back and counter attack kind of game.
It's
and then it's up to us to break them down. But corners, free kicks, still can't defend them for me. We really need to sort that out. I mean, I guess having Sanchez for Romero, you've got a bit more height in there. But no, you'd hope that our set piece coach includes defending corners. I've never liked zonal marking. It just looks really weird to me, and it sort of, when you sort of say, well, I'm not going to mark
player who's obviously off over there because he hasn't come into my zone. I mean, I know that professional footballers shouldn't, but yeah, I'm not. But then again, this is Conte's system. He's a far better manager than I am. I would hasten to guess. But so yeah, but Conte will be looking at that. He'll be analysing that. They'll have gone through that last week with certainly that first Chelsea goal. With the week, I mean, he said it himself, didn't he? When you've got that whole week, he can go for a lot more tactical stuff. So hopefully they'll have that sorted. But again, as you quite rightly said, just don't give free kicks away, don't give corners away.
Yeah.
And
they always do it though, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, there was no reason for Reece James to barge Kane over like that. Kane knew it was coming, played for it, obviously, but hold him up, just leave him there. He ain't going anywhere. Yeah. And they all do it. Every single player does it. It's so stupid. Although I played football years and years ago. The ball went over the goalkeeper. I ran towards it to clear it off the line. No one near me. And for some reason, I put my hand up, handballed it, tipped it over the bar, got sent off. So it's just a rush of blood to the head.
There must be film of that. There's got to be film of that. Please,
no.
Be film of that.
But, that's me paying to play football. These are people who it's their job. And we saw Nunez for Liverpool with just... I mean, he's young, but absolutely stupid, that headbutt. So they do these things in the heat of the moment with adrenaline flowing that you think, what are you doing? But yeah, I just constantly happens. Surely I wouldn't handball it again like that. So I've learned my lesson. But they constantly push people over, in line with the 18-yard box where it's just a free kick and it's just so stupid. But
it is. I mean, I when I played, and I only played at a really low sort of C team Sunday morning level, but I couldn't tackle to save my life, But what I would do is I'd try and close that player down and try and keep him in that area, because that's what you need to do. And these are professional footballers, so when it's like you're 1-0 up and they're attacking and they're near the corner flag, just keep him there. He ain't going anywhere. But you see so many players dive in and side them down, and they get the free kick and they score. So. Yeah, it's cutting out those silly mistakes and doing that. And hopefully we won't have to do much defending against Wolves. But remember last season, they scored 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, and that was the end of the game. So I feel that if we can keep I'm sure we'll talk about this later, if we can keep a clean sheet, we should win the game. So
yeah. Simply Ace got in touch. How you doing, buddy? Thanks so much for getting in touch and adding coming in. Dear God, Dyer and Sanchez will be playing against Wolves and Romero out for 4 weeks. We need another centre-back fast. Whether he's out for 4 weeks or not, based on what you said, Conte said it's a knock and I don't want to risk him. That suggests to me that he could play, but there's no need to. If we were playing Liverpool away, he probably would risk him. But Wolves at home, like I said, on paper we should win that. So therefore, we'll take our chances without him, and then he'll play against. I think it's Forest or West Ham next.
I think Romero's camp has said he'll be back training in 10 days. Which, when they said that, is next week. So he'll miss this week, and on that basis, he'll miss next week. I think we're away at Forest.
Yeah.
And then I think West Ham, I guess 2 or 3 days probably. So he could. I think the minimum amount of games he will miss will be the next 3.
I hope he plays against West Ham because he destroyed Antonio completely. I know West Ham had just come off the back of a real grueling European quarterfinal, semi-final. I can't remember which.
West Ham is 3 days after. Is actually 3 days after the Forest game. I think it's on the Wednesday. Yeah. So that might be. But I could be. I mean, I obviously don't know. I'm not the medical staff, but. I'd say that we'll miss him for at least 3 games.
Yeah. And move on. We've kind of already talked about this, but this guy deserves his own kind of section here. That's Son. His form. I know you're not...
By the way, the last comment, we do need another centre-back.
Yeah.
Whether Romero's fit or not, we need another centre-back.
Yeah, we'll get one.
Yeah.
That will come to the fore in about a week or so, 2 weeks when the transfer window closes. But Son form, I know you're not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. There are people who want him dropped, which you don't drop your best players. And history will tell you if he plays along with Kulusevski and Kane, we score goals. And it's only a matter of time for Son until he gets back on. And don't forget as well, there were, I think, 4 seasons in a row. Harry Kane, our best striker, who will be our best striker in history at some point, went 4 seasons in a row where he couldn't score for the first month of the season. But he still contributed. And Son created a goal Dyer's goal, wasn't it, against Southampton? So he's still contributing. He was given the ball away against Chelsea, but then you can label that at pretty much everybody. He was asked to defend a lot more than normal. You'd expect against Wolves he'll be much more on the front foot, and I would not be surprised if he scored a goal against Wolves and then made people eat their words. But yeah, for you, a worry that he's off form or not?
No, not at this stage. Not at this stage. 2 games in. Come on, 2 games in. He's supposedly, I mean, we had this last season, didn't we? He had a poor run form, and everyone was calling him to be dropped. He wasn't, and he went on to get the golden boot. So he's a good player, he's a class player. So you don't. And the thing is, people saying, "Oh, why did we buy all these players? And if we're not going to drop him?" Well, no, that's all about rotation. That's all about when you have to give these players a rest, then you can bring these players in. Then they get their game time. But at the moment, no, I wouldn't go. If he plays like this for another 3, 4, 5, 6 games, then maybe then you're looking at okay, let's But I think he'll be rested before then anyway. So. Yeah. I think I think the West Ham game will be interesting to see what when everyone's fit, or if everyone's fit. Be interesting what team comes out against West Ham, because that'll be the first game.
Being that we've got West Ham 3 days later.
That's the first game where you've got the 2 games in 3 weeks. At the moment, Conte can get away with playing the same 11 virtually, which he seems to trust. I mean, everyone goes on about Emerson, but he seems to trust Emerson. So. You got to go with your world class manager. But Son, no, I'm not worried. This is a great footballer. Come on, it doesn't suddenly leave you overnight. I'm not worried about Son. I don't think he should be dropped. Yes, he should be rotated at some stage. That's how squads work. That's how you keep your players fit. But no, to drop him now would be just pointless.
Yeah, I mean, you don't drop your best players.
No, we've won our first game and drew at Stamford Bridge, so it's not like we've lost at home to Southampton and then lost to Chelsea for 3 or 4-0. It's no need to make changes unless there are injuries. But no, I don't think you should drop them.
Yeah, I mean, Ben has said if we're dropping Sonny, what are we doing to Højbjerg and Sessegnon? They'd be shocking in that first half. I don't think they were any more shocking than anyone else.
No,
Sessegnon should have scored. Højbjerg obviously got a goal. I know that's second half, but I think the tactics were completely wrong, and Tuchel completely outfoxed Conte in that first half. We saw when Richarlison came on. We were much more competitive in that second half. But in terms of starting lineup, who starts for us? Would it be the same first 11 that started against Chelsea for you, or do you think Perisic, Richarlison, Basuma have done enough to get in? Because Richarlison obviously changed the game. If we're going into games with desire not anywhere near enough, Richarlison has to start, because that energy, that endeavour will go through the team. Very similar to what Lamela used to do for us. But he didn't play at all against Southampton, and we were far the superior team in that. Chelsea is a tough game, certainly away from home. So it may be too difficult to judge there. But if you can't get yourself fired up for a London derby against Chelsea, but yeah, for me, probably I would start with the same first 11, barring obviously Romero, for probably Sanchez. And like I said to you at the Southampton game, I like the fact that he's starting the same line that we got him in the Champions League and saying to all the new guys, force your way in. I quite like that. That they'll obviously get their chance, like we've been saying, game at the weekend and then weekday. But yeah, what would be the lineup for you to start against Wolves?
I would go with the same lineup. I'd go obviously Sanchez. I think will come in from Romero. The Perisic question is an interesting one. I still get the impression he's not 100% match fit. I mean,
imagine how it would be when he is. Those crosses at the end, the free kick, the 2 corners. Yeah. All on the money, all of them. When have we ever had that before? I can't remember.
So no matter what you think of Sessegnon's form at the moment, good game against Southampton, less so against Chelsea. If Perisic is not 100% match fit, and as we've seen that Conte doesn't take risks with his players that aren't perfectly fit, I think he'll start on the bench. If he is 100% match fit, who knows? He might change him. But you don't know. You don't know what's happened during training during the week. They don't know who's picked up little knocks. I mean, I think they had one more session. I mean, the press conference was yesterday. I mean, they've got one more session, haven't they, before the game? You never know what might happen in those sessions. I would go with, and I think Conte will go with the same 11, barring Romero. And I think he'll put Sanchez in there. Be interesting to see what bench he picks, because Spence didn't make the bench, but then I believe that's because you would have been overloaded with right wing backs on that bench. Be interesting to see whether he does, because Romero will be out, so that means Sanchez. There's an extra space on the bench now, so I'd imagine Spence will be there. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Spence play. Actually,
I think he'll probably play against Forest, won't he? Because he knows their players.
Possibly.
Although they have changed a lot of their players. Most of their players are on loan, so he might not know anything about it. He knows the manager. That's probably about it. But I think it'd be very interesting to see the lineup against Forest, being that, the big game against West Ham away 3 days later. There's got to be changes in the Forest game, I would think, just because of those.
And the other thing, as far as our squad is concerned on Saturday, we don't know what the situation is with Tanganga. I haven't heard anything over the last week or so. But if something has suddenly come up where, we might want to loan him to Team A, Team B, then do you risk that by having him on the bench? So there's a lot of things that could happen on that team on Saturday. I think Spence. We enter the League Cup at the third round stage, don't we? Because we missed the second round because we're in Europe. So that would be, I don't know, end of September, around September. I would say Spence probably will get his first start in the League Cup, whoever we get in the League Cup. Because that's giving him time to train with the team and get to know everyone, get to know the tactics, that sort of thing. I'm actually looking forward to seeing him. He's done well against Premiership teams when he was playing for Forest. So and that's the sort of player that fits Conte's system of a tall, strong, athletic right wing back that can go forward and go back, that can put crosses in. I think he had a fairly good assist rate last season. I think that's what we'll see there. But I think Conte, going back to the question, I think Conte will go with the same 11 other than Sanchez for Romero.
I think so as well. And then the Forest will be a bit of a mix, and West Ham as well. A couple of comments. Ben, Perisic's the first player we've had who puts regular balls on the money since Anderton. There must be some players since then. Maybe.
That's another player I'm looking forward to seeing start at some stage this season, is Perisic. So once he's 100% match fit, I'm looking forward to that. And you're right, Ben. Darren Anderton, was a very good deliverer of the ball. Very, very good. And we haven't, I'm trying to think of a player we've had since him on that right-hand side. I mean, Ericsson was a good passer of the ball, but he didn't really play out wide. But, Anderson, for England as well, that must be said. But,
and Chelsea fan here, Zulu Warrior, how you doing? Don't worry about drowning from Chelsea salty tears. You'll most certainly drown from jealousy tears, counting all those trophies Chelsea keep winning. 61 years since Spurs last won the English title, 15 since anything. Audi Cup doesn't count.
Why do Chelsea fans go on about the Audi Cup? Do they realise that we're all joking when that happens? It's like,
It's not about the past. It's about the future. Obviously, we haven't.
And people,
something, but I think Chelsea is, unless Chelsea get a striker, they're going to have the same problem they had against us with finishing us off. Because really, should have been over by half time. Well, maybe not then, but certainly before we scored.
But Terry, anyone that says we haven't won a trophy, well, we've only played 2 games, so it's a bit difficult.
He's a Palace fan. Apologies. And Simply Ace has said for his lineup, he'd like Lloris, Perisic, Tanganga, Dyer, Lenglet, Doherty, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Kulu, Son, Kane. But one player I forgot, I haven't got a banner for this, who is one person who isn't on the bench is Conte. After Tuchel decided that he'd try and have a fight with him and then run off. Well, do you think that'll be a huge thing? It could be, because he's always up in the box. What's it called? The technical area, and he won't be there because he's not allowed. And it will be very. He can have his assistant doing that, but it's not the same. But like I said, we should be beating Wolves at home, but it's not. It's not as cut and dry as we should be. We have to earn the right to beat them.
I'm a bit confused. When I was sure that Tottenham would have appealed, but maybe do you appeal once the decision comes down, or do you just appeal the card? Because he didn't seem to be, in the press conference, he didn't seem to be too worried. He seemed to think that it wouldn't be a touchline ban. He said, "I expect to be there." So
Oh, right, maybe he is.
And I guess, I mean, I don't know whether a straight red what's straight reds, whether that means, or whether they look at it as an individual
Was it a
case.
straight red? Because he did have a yellow before, didn't he? So was it a straight red?
No,
Or
I
was
think, yeah,
yellow?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I didn't really see it with all the.
I'd be interested. I haven't heard anything about any. I think you had until Thursday to appeal, so I'll guess we're here today. Well, we got here today because the match is on at 12:30 tomorrow. So I mean, it might even be a case of a touchline ban from next week. Maybe, who knows?
So maybe Perisic will start because he's kind of that leader already.
Maybe, yeah.
And without Conte there, maybe Perisic will start, but you never know. I know you've got to head off it in a bit, so we'll come to this. How will the game pan out for you and your predictions for it? Like you know by now, as do many people watching, I'm sure. I'm a coward. I don't give a scoreline prediction because it's too much tempting fate, and if it's right, I haven't been to Ladbrokes and I lose out on some money. But we should be winning. On paper, I think we will. I think it will be very similar to the Southampton game. And we showed in that game that if we do concede a goal, we can regroup. And we showed it against Chelsea as well, that these days we can regroup and get back into the game. Those front three, I think, will cause any team's problems. I think we'll have chances. I don't think the Conte not on the bench, if that's the case, will have too much of a difference because the players should be able to do it on the pitch. But like always, I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think they'll score a goal from a corner, free kick, or some counter-attack. But I do think we'll win. But I think Wolves will very much play on the counter-attack, which is why I can see Traore playing, which he hasn't done previously. How do you think the game will pan out, and what would your predictions be?
I think I've noticed Tottenham under Conte start slowly. I've never seen Tottenham come out from the blocks.
We've done that ever since Pochettino. Yeah. Remember the times Pochettino? It was terrible first half, completely different second half.
I think we'll start slowly. I mean, we started reasonably slowly against Southampton as well. I think we'll start slowly. I think, from what I've heard, there's a big feeling in the camp of, hey, this lot beat us last season. We ain't going to let it happen again. So there's a bit of motivation there, which is what you always fear in these sort of games. But if you're playing for Conte, you're going to be motivated every single game, surely. I think we'll start slowly. I think it'll be very measured. Tottenham, I think these days are more under Conte. They seem to be quite professional in that they don't panic. They just go at their game, continue their game. And you know that we should be fitter than Wolves. And you just know that if we keep going, if it's 0-0, once you get the first, then you get the second, and I think that's the way we'll play. We'll play to just keep battering at the door, and eventually the door will collapse, and we go for it. I just think it'll be more difficult than the Southampton game because of what you said.
That's fairly similar to Zulu War here. 1-1, they'll be hard to break down.
Which
it probably isn't too far off the money, to be honest.
It's one of those games where. We've seen these games before. Where everyone's up for it, and we go there, brilliant, and we don't get the result we want. So I think it'll be hard fought. I think we can win. We should be attempting to win every. We should really win every single home game, including your Man Cities and your. That's what you should be looking to do. Win every home game, and we did it in 17. I think we only just dropped 4 points in the whole season, but we should be looking at. And we should be beating Wolves if we want to be anywhere up near the table. Again, I'm not suggesting that we're going to be anywhere near winning the title, but if we want to be up there or thereabouts, then we need to be beating Wolves. We need to be beating Wolves comfortably, but at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. So if it's 1-0, then I'll take that. Maybe my heart won't, but
Simply Ace thinks 2-0, Son and Kane. I'd take that. Ben, Wolves are a brilliant defensive unit. If we work them out, we'll get the right result. Have to take them seriously. Got some brilliant players. Adama always gives us the game. And Zulu War, if Spurs want to win, they'll need back with patience. Probably not far off the mark. All of those.
Going back to Zulu Warrior,
Patrick Maley, 2-1 Spurs.
Going back to Zulu Warrior, I noticed one of his previous comments about the atmosphere at Palace, and I have to say I agree with him. I think of all the away grounds I've been to, Palace is the best atmosphere from the home fans, definitely.
But I've never been there, to be honest. But I don't mind Palace. Palace. Apart
faster to get to from West London.
And Simply Ace, we mentioned this earlier. Wolves will miss Connor Cody. Large must have a plan. Oh, yeah. Patrick Maley, come on, COYW, come on, you Wolves. I do apologise. Do apologise. That's his opinion. Lazy 8, 1-0, Kane to score. Be a bit squeaky bum that one, but it's still a win. Who cares? And first clean sheet of the season would be a good thing as well. But yeah, like I say, we've pretty much reached the end here. A pretty short show. Had Wisdom Tooth out last Saturday, still giving me some jip. A bit difficult to talk for long periods of time, but we will be back to normal service, hopefully next week, and hopefully on Monday when we're on the Hotspur Hood. But Brad, thanks so much for coming on.
No problems.
And I said at the start, and it's in the description, Blue Sofa Songs is Brad's YouTube channel. There'll be where can people find it first off, although it says YouTube, but anyway. Tell us a bit about it, and there's a new video tonight. Right.
There is indeed. Yes, I have been learning guitar for a couple of years now, and I've always written lyrics. So this is my first attempt at writing songs. I've been learning a little bit of music theory. So my first attempt at writing songs with lyrics and that. So Blue Sofa Songs on YouTube. I'm now got a Twitter account, so I'm putting them up on Twitter at AB Sofa Songs. There's I'm trying to get a new song every Friday at 5:00. The one that's gone on today is the actual video is slightly different. I've actually got a bit at the start, and there's a little bit of special effects in there. Watch out for it.
Ooh, wow.
Because
5:00,
yeah,
right?
5:00, and I'll put it on Twitter. Once it's gone on YouTube, I'll put it on Twitter and the various sort of WhatsApp groups I'm involved in. But hey, look, it's all about songs. It's not really about me singing or my skills at playing guitar. It's all about songs, and all I say to people is try and imagine the songs with a complete band behind them and whatever you want. So, but yeah, Blue Sofa Songs on YouTube, at B Sofa Songs on Twitter. Please give it a listen, and as always, click like and subscribe, and click like and subscribe to Talk Tottenham and to Chris's Magic Show, which is also very, very good. I still can't work out how he does it. Very, very good. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on today, Chris.
No problem. Always a pleasure having you on.
And I'll probably see.
Zulu, well, Wisdom Tooth out explains a lot. Absolutely, I can't afford another one out. But yeah.
And I presume you're at the game tomorrow.
No, it's not my one. My one's Leicester.
Oh, right. Well,
with the Wisdom Tooth and everything, it probably wouldn't suit me very well. Screaming and shouting for 9 minutes.
I'm probably going. Well, I am going to the game tomorrow. How I'm getting there is going to be another matter because there's train strikes and tube strikes and bus strikes. And to me, it's going to get a bit political here. It's a minor inconvenience, but these people are fighting for to earn a living and to to feed their families. So
there'll be plenty of fan buses. Going.
So I'm willing to take that minor inconvenience for
absolutely.
But yeah, I hopefully will be able to get there. I might have to start really early in the morning.
It's 12:30, isn't it? So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure you'll get there fine. I'm sure you'll get there fine. But yeah,
and hopefully
as long as we win, no one really cares. But,
exactly.
Then apparently there is a strike tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's nationwide or just London.
I think there's if you go on the Tottenham website, there's a link to the trains and that. I think there are reduced capacity reduced trains. So like the tubes are running. I think the Elizabeth line, from my point of view, Elizabeth line's running, but very, very few trains. And I think from Liverpool Street, very few trains. But I will give a bit of advice. I'm not sure whether this Stansted Express is affected, because if it's not, that's a very good way of getting to Tottenham. You just basically get off at Tottenham Hall and walk. It's only a 15-minute walk. So that's an option. But there's always ways. Even if I have to get an Uber, I'll be there.
Yeah, there's always ways. The guy who's going out of my group of season ticket people, he's getting a fan coach. So there's ways of getting there. It's just go look on Google first, and then there'll be plenty of advice, I'm sure. But that's pretty much it for today. Thanks so much, Brad, for coming on. And like you said, 5:00 this evening, UK time. Go on to Blue Sofa Songs. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you watch the video. I love the lyrics on them. Opening the lyrics in the it's the description, isn't it, that they appear in?
Lyrics are in the description. I haven't yet worked out how to put them actually up as the thing's going on. Although I have worked out a way to put a little note on there, so it's getting the timing right, which is going to be But it's hopefully a little bit better production than previous, and I hope to improve. That's like Conte says, improve. That's what I hope to do. Yeah. And I'll be interested to see what people's opinion of the lyrics on the one that's gone on tonight. Just be interesting to see what people's opinions of the lyrics are. Okay.
How they interpret it, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. I know why I wrote it, but
I hope so. Yeah, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you hit the like, watch the video, subscribe, and then get your comments in the comments part on the video to let Brad know what you thought the song meant. Really helps the channel. Not just likes and subscribes. Comments always help the channel. And make sure you get your comments in here. If you're watching the replay as well, I really appreciate all the comments that have come in. And Zulu Warrior, good luck to Spurs this season until you play Palace. Same to you. Good luck to Palace until you play until you play Spurs. And love all the banter in the comments as well. And that's what it's about. You know, you can have disagreements and arguments, but as long as it's respectful, that's all we really care about on these things. But yeah, and as long as we get a win tomorrow, it doesn't really matter how it doesn't really matter how, but as long as we get the win, that's all we care about. 7 points out of 9 to start the season. That'd be really good going. And like I say, hit like, hit a subscribe. Really helps the channel. Get your comments in. Then jump over 5 p.m. Blue Sofa Songs on YouTube. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Get your comments in to what you think the lyrics were about. And we'll be back on. Oh, yes. And as you can see there on my thing, Chris's Magic on YouTube. If you like your little magic and don't mind being shown it by someone who's an amateur at best, then get over to Chris's Magic, 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, UK time. That's when that drops as well.
And I must say that if you do watch Chris's Magic tricks, they're really, really brilliant. I have to say that the hearts and the diamonds are blue, okay? It's not your eyes, they are blue, okay? So
I mean, most people collect stuff, don't they? I don't really, but I've got about 40 decks of cards, all different colours and things, patterns. So head over there if you like your magic. Blue Sofa Songs for music, and here for football. And we're back on the Hotspur Hood on Monday for the Wolves review. That's 7:30 p.m. And then we're back here for it'll be a Nottingham Forest preview and probably a West Ham preview as well on Friday as well. But yeah, let's just hope we can beat Wolves. 7 points out of 9. That'd be a great start to the season. Get Son off the mark as well. So all three scored. Get Richarlison on, get him a goal as well. All 4 of our front players get a goal. But as long as we win, I'm not too bothered. But until then, until Monday, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Thank you so much for watching. For everybody who joined in the live chat, before you go, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live. For anyone who missed the live stream, you can catch us on Let's Talk Tottenham's YouTube account whenever you want. Please leave any comments or suggestions in the comments box. For anyone who listens to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anyone who wants that audio-only podcast, you get that wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, go to our Twitter account at @LTalkTottenham or Instagram account Let's Talk Tottenham Podcast. Find all the information there. We're back on Mondays on the Hotspur Hood YouTube channel, 7:30 p.m. UK time, and back on Let's Talk Tottenham's YouTube channel at 12:30 p.m. UK time as well. For anyone who wants something a bit different, not just football, and likes their magic, please head over to Chris's Magic YouTube channel. 1 trick a week, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. UK time as well. It always drops then. And thanks for watching.